What is good, all of our listeners and viewers? Welcome to another episode of Games and Groceries. My name is Adam.
And I'm Liz.
And we've been doing this 100 times. Woo! We are here with episode 100, and we asked you to ask us anything. And that's what we're going to be talking about in this episode.
Woo-hoo!
Celebration all around. We are on episode 100.
100.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It is.
Yeah. How do you feel about it?
It's like weird because like I remember telling you last week
Yeah.
that or not last week. It was like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh my gosh, in like a month or two, we're gonna be doing this for 2 years. We've been podcasting.
2 years.
And it's so crazy because like I sit there and I'm like, what did we do with our time?
Yeah.
Before we did the podcast.
It is weird.
What is free time?
Yeah.
What did I do with that? Oh yeah, I binge watched 1,000 shows.
Pretty much. Because that's the thing is that you see the final product about this, but podcasting takes a lot of time out of your week and in your scheduling and editing it, especially the new videos we've been doing on the YouTube channel with the video essays, which we just released this past Saturday, the newest one.
Super proud.
Yeah, we're very proud of that one. Called our skateboarding video games coming back.
Yeah,
and
it's probably I feel like that is some of my best editing work so far
because we took a month with it. Yeah, instead of 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So I'm very proud of it. But enough about that. Podcasting.
2 years.
2 years and to 100 episodes. We started in E3 2018. And unfortunately, there's no E3 2020, but that's okay.
No.
We're still here. We're still podcasting for y'all.
Yes.
But yeah, so we're here and we asked you to ask us anything. And we just want to celebrate in that way, to interact with you guys.
Yeah.
And before we get into our questions, we have a good number of them.
Mm-hmm.
If you haven't yet, and you're listening to this podcast, by the way, if you're following us on the social medias, oh, bless you.
Sorry, I got like something like a tickle in my throat all of a sudden.
It's okay to cry.
Like I swallowed a bunch of dust.
Yeah, it's okay to be emotional. I got a little lump in my throat.
Who gets emotional and coughs?
I don't know,
out
me.
of emotion.
Anyways, follow us on social media at Gaming Groceries or on Instagram, Games and Groceries, all one word. But you can also follow us individually on Twitter. I'm at Ace the Grocer.
And I'm at Journey First.
So you can follow us individually and be friends with us there. Check us out on Facebook. Go ahead, do it. Go on Facebook. That trash site, the garbage.
Whatevs.
And then you can check us out our website, gamesandgroceries.com, where you can listen to all of the podcasts from the website, as well as find out where you can listen to the audio versions of the website and some articles that we're going to be posting pretty soon. And I forget, but yeah, do a Podchaser review. Go us. We've been doing this 100 times, and
I have something to ask about social media.
Okay.
So if anyone knows how to delete an Instagram account that is linked to a main account, please talk to me, because I'm trying to delete the Journey First Productions Instagram and I can't figure out how to do it because it's linked to my main account, and I can't figure out how to do it without deleting my main account, which I'm about to do.
My goodness.
So anyway, just thought I'd add that.
But yeah, and if you're following us and you are listening to the podcast, there's plenty of people who are listening to Games and Groceries and I haven't interacted with yet. If you feel like, if I talk with them, they're not going to respond, I'm going to respond. It might not be right away, but I'm going to respond.
Yeah.
Trust me on that point. But we started this pod, and we're going to get to a question like that, but we started this podcast to interact with the gaming community, and I interacted with a good amount of you, but I want to interact with more of you. So definitely DM us, or talk with us, or email us, gamesandgroceries@gmail.com, or contact at gamesandgroceries.com. My goodness, 100 times, people.
Woohoo!
But with all that said and done, I just want to get right into the questions, because you were so nice enough to ask us these questions. And these questions are coming from Left Behind Game Club, Commander Nikki, The Greatest Story Ever Played, The Greatest Show on Dirt, and Andrew Orsi. And I'm sorry if I forgot any other people. I'm so stressed.
I think we got everyone.
Yeah.
But if we forgot, We apologize. Let us know if we forgot yours, and we'll try and answer it on another podcast.
Yeah, and then I will give you a virtual hug. But
Which you can do on Facebook now.
oh,
Yeah, they added that as like a reaction, a hug.
yeah, weird.
Yeah.
Anyways, but yeah, let's just get right into the questions. This is going to be an Ask Us Anything podcast, just to celebrate 100 episodes. And I thought we would start off with Andrew Orsi's question, which says, if you were starting a podcast fresh for the first time right now, what would you do differently than you did when this one was based on what you've learned? Okay, do differently that what you did with this one based on what you learned from 100 episodes.
So if we were starting a new one now, what would we do based on what we've learned so far?
And what would you do exactly the same? Do you have an answer, first of all?
Well...
Yeah.
Well, because it's like you handle most of like the podcasting stuff. I just kind of show up and do all the editing.
Yeah.
So I don't really know. I guess I might have tried talking more.
Yeah.
But we actually listened back to our first episode, and I was like, I talked more than I thought I did. Because in my head, I was like, I didn't talk at all. Sometimes I still feel like I don't do much talking.
No, like you do significantly, especially with Diane Hutton. You really connected her.
Well, I just remembered this when we were first starting out. I remember we used to be like, "Oh, Lizzie talked a lot during that episode."
Yeah.
we would be like we would get off and be like, "Oh, I talked a lot in that episode." Like,
yeah.
"Oh, Lizzie," like it would be like a party that I talked a lot in an episode. Like
oh
we were
goodness.
like, "Oh, let's do better. We're talking. We're doing it."
What I would do differently, which we did do, What's the Biz? It's now alive.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm like, we did just start a new podcast.
We did just start a new podcast. It's called What's the Biz? Links are down in the description down below if you want to check that out. It's just an Ask Us. It's really an anything and everything kind of podcast.
We just sit there and see what happens.
Really, yeah.
Usually it's depressing.
But what I would do differently, I would probably start on YouTube sooner.
Yeah.
Like, and not even just the way we did it the first time, where it was just a logo and, just some sound into it. I would legitimately just try to start a video podcast much sooner.
Right off the bat.
Yeah. It's because getting on YouTube, a backlog is so valuable. And there's a lot of episodes that aren't on YouTube right now.
Yeah, I think we jumped from like episode 5 to like 18, and then we took another break from YouTube and then jumped to like episode like 20 something.
Yeah.
Or like something like that, and we're like, oh well.
Yeah, it's very odd. But it is what it is. What I would do differently, like I said, I would definitely start on YouTube sooner and a video podcast sooner. We would try to learn video production much sooner because I think the very first like actual video, like the one we took seriously, was like
worst angle.
Oh, those were bad.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I think I can't remember what episodes those were, but the one we took it seriously, it wasn't until like episode like 52.
Yeah, because it was after E3 last year.
Yeah.
So
episode 52 is when we really took the video podcast seriously. But if I were to do this differently, I would. We would
have done from the very start. But we just didn't feel like we had the knowledge. Like we were too scared almost.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree with that.
The other part I would change is just starting and not really. I would plan less in the terms of. I was just saying that like we should start a podcast at E3 because everybody's looking for E3 content, and I want to do it like this and like that and like this. And it was so much planning involved that it ended up nobody listened. And that's not a disencouragement that you shouldn't start a podcast. It's that just press record and just put it out there because no one's going to listen to it in the first place unless you're Cody Co. But that's a different story. But that's the thing is that I would just start it anytime.
Yeah.
Not really planning it. But what I would do exactly the same, have fun with it.
Oh, yeah.
Like we did a lot of planning, but at the same time, we just pressed record and we just laughed with each other and just reacted to E3.
Yeah.
And we just had fun with it in the first place. We didn't really take anything too seriously.
Yeah.
But,
oh my gosh. Like I remember in our very first episode, we were first we tried like I think we started it like 3 different times because we were trying to figure out how to block sound and not sweat to death in our sunroom.
Yeah.
And then we ended up being under a blanket, sharing a mic, sweating to death. It was horrible.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Horrible.
By the way, if you're listening to this and it sounds a little buzzy, I apologize.
We
and
don't know what's happening.
I can't tell if it's the monitor headphones or if it's actually the sound, so I do apologize.
So we'll figure it out later.
I guess we will. I think it will sound fine, but I think it's just the monitor headphones. I don't know. Might have to invest in something else. I don't know. Anyways, but what I would do exactly the same is just have fun with it. But I would do differently is have more fun with it.
Yeah.
Just put anything out there. And
like we're learning now not to structure it so much.
Exactly. And that's what we did with What's the Biz. We just kind of let's just put it out and just see what happens.
Sit down and we talk.
Yeah. And we just have fun with it. And we're slowly building it up instead of just like, how can we get this, planning this and planning that and structure this. Just do it. Just press play. It is what it is. And that's what I would do differently, if that makes any sense. Just have fun with your first episode and just go with the flow, man.
Build it up.
Yeah. But thank you, Andrew, for that. Greatest show on dirt. What made you decide to do a podcast? Now, this is a little different answer.
Yeah, because what made you decide to do a podcast and why this podcast are 2 different answers, too. Yeah. So, like, what made you decide to do a podcast? You were already interested in podcasting.
And I wasn't.
You had tried starting another one before.
Yeah, I did a podcast. I did about 3 episodes of Painted Plastic podcast. With
I designed the logo for, and I think it was perfect.
It was good. It was good.
Very good logo.
If you try to find it on Backlog, I canceled my Audio Boom account, and it's nowhere to be found. I tried to find old episodes on Liz's computer to see if.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I tried to find one, and I
probably deleted them because my computer's like kind of not great. So I try and delete things that are not used or needed anymore. So I might have deleted it.
But I was listening to a lot of CADcast, a lot of it, and I just like, this is what I want to do. I really wanted to do video game podcasts the way these guys do it, and ham radio podcast and DLC podcast. And I just thought that really sparks my interest. And so we started Painting Plastic, and it just wasn't working out in the way I wanted to. And it was only 3 episodes, and I just kind of said, I really don't.
Now's not the time.
Now's not the time to do it. But then jumping ahead a year later, and I just still had this itch to like still do a video game podcast. And at the time, I was still trying to develop my own video game. It was not good. And it wasn't good at all. No salvage. It was bad. And but
we were still learning. You literally, never mind.
Yeah.
Later.
But I also didn't have the time to really develop a video game.
Because we had just started a new job like a year before. Like we were not even a year into that church.
Yeah. But and so we were sitting down for dinner one night, and it was our favorite place in Long Island, which I'm sure
I thought it was at Lily's.
No, it was. I specifically remember it was at Crafts.
Oh, Kraft?
We were in.
I thought you meant Cannon.
No. It was Crafts, and we were in the outside. Maybe that's why you think of Lily's.
We only sat outside once.
I have the better memory in this relationship.
We only sat outside at Crafts one time, and it was with your mom and Tara.
Nope. We were outside.
I do not ever remember sitting outside at Crafts.
I know, but you don't remember last week.
Whatever.
So, and that's not an insult. That's just facts.
Whatever.
But that's the thing. I was just looking at you, and I was just like, can we start a podcast together? Just a video game podcast, and just like, that's how we spend our time together? And we did.
Yeah.
But I just still had that itch to really do a really awesome video game podcast. And that's how we started it. It was just, sitting down to dinner and just, just start it.
Yeah.
But then I did a lot more planning than I wanted to. There's some people who plan podcasts for like 2 years, and it's just like, just press play. But that's it. That's really why we started the podcast. But it was just me listening to a lot of video game podcasts, and I just said, I wanted to do that. Not to say I was
Yeah.
better. I just said I want to do
You
that.
want to do it too. For me, I had no desire to do a podcast.
Mhm.
I still don't really listen to podcasts. I really only listen to Infernal Mafia, and even then I struggle to remember to listen to them.
Yeah.
So I didn't really have a desire. It was mostly my husband saying, "Hey, I want to start a video game podcast with you, and this is what I want it to be about." I'm like,
Mhm.
"Okay."
Yeah, pretty much.
Like that's what got me into it. Like, okay.
Yeah.
And then I did try and listen to like other podcasts. I'm like, all right, if I'm gonna be podcaster, I should probably listen to other ones. And I tried. I'm just like, no, I really just like listening to music and watching TV shows.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just not a podcast listener. I cannot focus on it. So,
Whereas me, I listen
thanks
to
guys for not being like me.
Whereas me is I listen to a million podcasts.
You listen to a ton of podcasts. I don't even know how you keep them straight.
Yeah, it is what it is. But I like to get inspiration from other people in that way. But yeah, that's pretty much why we decided to do a podcast, because I had an itch and Liz was there.
I just existed.
But you enjoy it now.
Yeah, I enjoy doing it. I mean, there's still a level of like discomfort sometimes because I'm not as knowledgeable about video game industry.
You have a
as
lot more
are.
fun with What's the Biz.
I do,
Mm-hmm.
because it's just talking.
Yeah.
Like, and if anyone knows me, like, if I'm like, if it's something like What's Biz, like, I can talk forever.
Mm-hmm. There was
about
one episode.
anything.
There was one episode I actually left the room
And I just kept talking.
Yeah.
Like, I can talk. Like, people think I'm like, oh, Liz doesn't talk. No, I talk when I know, when I'm
Mhm.
comfortable.
Yeah.
So, and like, I talk more on this podcast now that like we've been doing it, and I do know more about the video game industry. I
Mhm.
can, I mean, I forget some things, and I misunderstand games and stuff. Like I switch them around because I have a bad memory.
Mhm.
But if I remember what we're talking about, then I talk because I know what I'm talking about now. So, yeah.
So going into Commander Nikki's question,
Yes.
best video game memory you made together.
Yeah.
Do you have
So
an
is
answer?
it like a collective memory, or like I can choose favorite and you can choose favorite?
No, together, collectively, me and you.
But
together.
no, I mean like I
Me
know
and
it's
you,
like a
boo.
memory of like us together.
Yeah.
But is it like do we have to share the same favorite memory together?
Sure, why not?
Whatever.
Me and you,
Oh.
boo. What do you think?
I have two that pop in my head immediately. The first one that
Yeah.
pops into my head.
I actually have two.
immediately- The first one that pops in my head immediately is when we played Overcooked.
Oh, okay, that's not one of my two.
Because that like the first thing I think of when I think of like playing a video game together was Overcooked, and I was like, oh my god,
Yeah.
I hate that game. I told him I was never playing it with him ever again. We played like a couple rounds, and I was like, I can't. I'm done. I can't do it. It was
It
way.
tests relationships.
It does not test relationship. It tests my anxiety. That's what
Yeah.
it tests. It does not test anything but my anxiety. Oh my gosh, I hate that game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, okay. And then the other one I think of is when we were playing Life is Strange for the first time,
Yeah.
and I had to tell you what choices to make because you literally did not know how girls talk to each other.
No.
And you're like, I'm going to do this. I'm like, that's not what they would say. I'm like, oh my God, you're so stupid.
Because I'm not a little girl, I guess. But
They're not little girls either. They're like seniors in high school.
I don't know. But so that one is one of my ones.
Yeah.
Playing one Life is Strange together, and it was fun to like to share that story together. But my other one was,
And that was the moment that got me into video games.
yeah,
So that has to be our favorite one.
like playing Life is Strange with you, and then also beating together LA Noir.
Oh, yeah. I always
Yeah.
forget we did that.
Yeah, yeah. You
Like
got tired
all-
of it after a while.
Yeah. I think it was mostly because you were playing and I was just sitting there watching.
No, you were answering questions.
I know, but I mean, like,
Mhm.
I wasn't as active in it as you.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it also has the Rockstar mentality where Rockstar games they kind of overstay their welcome, in my opinion.
Yeah, I definitely think it went on just a little too long.
And LA Noir, it definitely overstays its welcome, especially once you get to like into the arson squad. That's just like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, being that together where I was controlling sometimes, but you were interrogating and you were answering all the questions.
And you would tell me, that's not right.
That's not right. And I was like, are you sure?
I know. I was like, why are you asking me? Am I sure?
Yeah. But those are some good video games to play together. So,
Yeah.
where there's a story and you can be involved with it. And I think we have the most fun playing video games together than we do watching movies together because
well, yeah, because it's active and we can talk.
yeah.
'Cause I like to talk during movies,
Mm-hmm.
and Adam tells me to be quiet.
I don't tell you.
You don't tell me to be quiet, but you're like, you'll like stop and pause it. I'm like, I don't want you to pause it.
Yeah.
I just want to talk over it.
I can't. I need to. I'm a man, and men can only think of one thing at one time.
Me and my best friend Lane, we just sit there and like we'll turn on a movie and then we'll sit there and talk about it the whole time. Or if it's a movie we've seen, we just talk straight through it.
How much of Good Will Hunting do you remember watching?
0.
There you go. Moving on to our next question. Case closed.
Did I talk during that?
Yes, you and your mom.
Oh, I watched it with my mom?
Yes. Yes.
I told you I don't even remember seeing this movie.
Oh my goodness.
Wait, so me, you, and my mom watched this?
Yes.
When?
Okay, so when I say that we sat in crafts outside and you say we only sat there once, this is why I say no, we sat there multiple times, and that's why I have the best memory.
Whatever.
My goodness. Anywho.
Next question.
So from the Left Behind Game Club, have you listened to the first episode of the show recently? If so, what has been the biggest change in your show over 100 episodes? And we have listened to the first episode. It was a big episode. Well, we thought it was a big episode when it was only an hour and 14 minutes.
Also, our excitement level was not big.
Yeah. So talking about what's changed, number one,
We got more interesting.
we got more interesting. I don't know if this episode's going to be the most interesting.
No.
I know, but I'm doing it for you guys. I love you. Mwah. But confidence.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because if you listen back to the first episode, and right now I'm like, what is good? All of our listeners. If it's like, what is good, everybody? My name's Adam.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. But it's very dry and it's very just monotone.
Yeah.
And we shared one condenser microphone.
Yeah. Under our blanket.
Yeah, we
In June.
in June. And we pretty much covered ourselves, trying to make it like as soundproof as possible. You can still hear motorcycles outside and cars driving. You could even hear an airplane.
Well, okay, so we lived right near JFK.
Yeah.
And we were in a sunroom, so it's not like it had any insulation to even protect from sound. We had no blinds on those windows.
And so
it's not great.
It was not a good decision in there, but yeah, it was the confidence, the equipment.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And it was stupid hot, and we really didn't know what we wanted to do with the pod. We knew we wanted to report on E3, and then after that, it was just
it's like, now what?
Yeah, we didn't decide about doing a discussion, like a talkie time after it, until the next episode. We're just like, what do we do? It was like, there's no E3 to report on. What do we do?
Oops.
And so we just kind of formulated the format of Games Groceries from there, and just deciding, how do we want to do news pieces? How do we want to do? We had table talk topics, and it was just kind of experimenting. But the very first episode, it was confidence, no structure, low sound quality, and just not an understanding of what a podcast should do.
Yeah.
And that's something we grew over 100 episodes. And in fact, I feel like we're hitting not even our peak yet. We're still growing. And it's 100 episodes later, and there's still a lot of things we want to experiment with. We want to kind of change the structure with. But yeah, I would say that's the biggest one. The biggest one, I would say, is confidence.
Definitely.
Yeah. But you can listen to episode 1. In fact, we'll have a surprise later, but you can hear episode 1 is like, what is good, everybody? My name is Adam. But yeah, confidence is probably the biggest one.
Adam, don't.
Threw it. I threw it on the ground. Boom.
I hope you need that later and you can't.
While I grab my phone, this is actually a question for you specifically.
For me specifically.
And then me specifically. Me.
Oh, okay.
So greatest story ever played asks Liz, what are some of your favorite books?
I'm glad you asked some of my favorite books, because some people have not learned
I'm gonna grab my phone.
that I don't have a favorite in anything, and I have a couple favorite things. So he's crawling. So some of my favorite books. So I highly recommend the Mortal Instruments series. They not only have like a weirdo, they not only have like a base like like this is the series, but then they have like branch off series. So they have like the Clockwork Angel series?
Mm-hmm.
I love how you know this and I don't.
Yeah, I see the bookshelf.
Yeah, I know. So so they have like the Mortal Engine, they have the Clockwork Angel series, and they have like a couple other series, I think. I haven't even finished the main series. I think I was on the last book, but then senior year of college happened and I forgot it. And then I got rid of the tablet that they were all on, and now I don't have them, so I still need to buy them. But anyway, so Mortal Instruments series, definitely one of my favorite series. I want to say Harry Potter, but it's like, that's such a cliche. I don't even want to, that's not.
You can still include it.
Like, it's on, like, I enjoy it, but it's not fun to say Harry Potter.
But
you know what I mean?
Still
like,
one of your
all right,
favorites,
Harry
so.
Potter. Like,
there you
okay,
go.
yeah, I like Harry Potter, but I'm not.
I mean, I like Star Wars. That's a cliche for a nerd.
Yeah, that's true.
But
yeah, so I like pretty much all the cliches. I like Harry Potter, Hunger Games, Twilight. The books were good, and I was in high school. Okay, leave me alone. My one book from when I was younger, I had to read it for school, but I absolutely loved it, and my friend Lane loved it too when she read it. Was this book called Elsewhere, and it is such a nice book. It's not young, like I would say, like it's like middle school, high school. I think I read it for middle school, but it's such a good book because it's like, I don't want to spoil it, but I really enjoy it, so I'm going to. So it's like this girl dies in like high school. She's in a car accident. The camera's about to turn off. She like dies in high school and in a car accident, and she goes to Elsewhere, which is like you go there and then you age backwards, and when you reach back to being a baby again, you are sent down this river and you relive your life. So you just keep reliving your life over and over again. And so it's like just her journey with that and how she deals with it. And I just loved that book growing up. And I feel like there's a couple more. I actually really like books. When I find a book I like it a lot. And I tend to go with series because then, like, I don't know, I like series because I like to extend the process. I think I talked about this in the last episode. I really like series. Like, I like movie series, book series. I like long TV series. I like to invest in something. And then the series I'm on now is The Red Queen.
Yeah.
I'm struggling with the second book, getting through it, but I really want to get through it because there's like two or three other books after it. So, but that's a good series too. So.
And the Bible.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't do my devotional today.
Oh no.
This is your fault. You were at lunch with me and you distracted me.
Oh, I will never have lunch with you ever again.
Thank you.
My goodness. Yeah, it was raining today, so yeah, I couldn't be out.
But yeah, so your turn.
Yeah.
Rank the new Star Wars trilogy: Solo, Rogue One, and The Mandalorian.
Okay. So he's asking the new trilogy, not any other trilogy.
Yeah.
So with all the movies, okay, so all the trilogy, so that's Force Awakens, Last Jedi, and Rise of Skywalker. Then I got Solo, Rogue One, and The Mandalorian as a whole series. Okay, so I'm going to start some fights on here. So I'm at Ace the Grocer on Twitter. You can fight me on there. Please fight me because I will fight you on Twitter.
I'm interested. I'm shaking my soda.
So last and very least is Solo. I'm putting that very last least. I didn't watch the whole movie through because I think it's such a waste of a film and such a waste of an origin story for Solo. The way how Solo got his name, how Han Solo got his name is so dumb and just such an unneeded backstory. Where it's just like, okay, a little spoiler, and if you haven't seen it yet, he gets it solo because he's joining this military, basically. And everybody gets like their tribes, their tribunals, and that's how they get kind of their last name. And Han goes up to the guy and he's signing away. And he says like, oh, what tribe are you from? I forget. It's like a tribe or something. And he says, oh, I'm on my own. It's like, huh, you're solo, huh? I'm going to call you Han Solo. I'm like, that's so stupid.
That's like just written off.
It's so dumb. Han Solo, is my least favorite.
This is the only Star Wars movie we did not go see. Like we didn't see it until someone asked you this, and we're like,
yeah,
I still haven't seen it. Like it's just one that we were just like, no,
yeah,
no, thank you.
Solo is at the bottom for me. So Solo, and then we're gonna put. Well, I thought I had the burp. Whoa,
Hold up.
Then we're gonna put Rise of Skywalker right above Solo. It's not the worst, but it's definitely not the best. And I'll tell you why. I will tell you why. Everybody says that Rise of Skywalker, oh, it was so good, so great. Oh, it was fantastic. Such a cinematic triumphant. Yeah, hooray. No.
I liked it.
Well, here's the thing. It was a fine movie. It was a fine movie. It was a fine standalone movie. You know what it actually was? What Rise of Skywalker was? It was supposed to be the closing chapter to decades long, like a 4-decade-long saga. It was supposed to close the book and tie in any kind of like emotional. Get out of here, Wire. It was supposed to tie up any kind of like emotional connections and just understanding of why everything was. It was supposed to be that great closer, you know, like just really put you in an emotional wreck, and they ruined it.
Yeah.
Every single thing in that movie where it's supposed to emotionally destroy you, they're just like, no, don't cry. See, Chewbacca's alive. It's fine. Oh, look, C-3PO. No, he's fine. He remembers all his friends. It's fine. It's so poorly mismanaged as a movie that was supposed to close a saga.
Yeah.
It's fine as a standalone movie. I'll give it a fine. But what it was supposed to be was to close out a decades-long saga, and it failed to do so. So I'm putting it right above Solo. Solo can die. Anyways, but Solo was a waste of a origin story. Rise of Skywalker was a waste of a closing. Fight me on Twitter at Ace the Grocer. Was a waste of a closing of a saga.
Yeah.
Then what we're gonna do. So what do I have left? Man, this is gonna be a hard one because the rest of them are gonna be like my tops. Like I don't really have problems with. I'm gonna put Rogue One at the next place. Only because Rogue One was excellent. Again, we're going on to the ones I don't really have problems with. I'm going to put Rogue One right above. It's because Rogue One served its purpose in saying that like it really put its flavor on A New Hope. It really did. You watch Rogue One and then you go directly into A New Hope and it puts a whole new meaning behind A New Hope. But that's all it serves. It serves as kind of like a new flavor for Rogue One, for A New Hope.
Yeah.
And it does its job. It does its job fantastic. And the final scene with Darth Vader was just really, really well choreographed. I love Rogue One. But it just serves the purpose of putting a flavor behind A New Hope. And that's why I'm putting it there. At third place, we're going to put The Mandalorian. Mandalorian's fine. It's good. It's definitely my kind of Star Wars series.
Yeah.
In the terms of it's Longmire with space and Star Wars. But, you know, it's not memorable. Like the last episode is definitely memorable, but there's definitely some filler episodes here and there. And it's just,
I stopped watching it after 2.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like you really have to be in kind of like Westerns to really enjoy it. You have to be invested in watching 8 episodes instead of just a whole movie. That's where I feel like it kind of loses the masses in Star Wars. So that's why I'm putting it at number 3. So before we get into my top 2, we have Solo, we have Rise of Skywalker, then we have Rogue One, then The Mandalorian. So, okay, still.
Why am I being patted?
We're going to put number 2 as, I'm going to start a lot of fights here. A Force Awakens is number 2. Because, and now you can figure out what's number 1. I now explain why it's number 1. Please still love me and still be my wife. But Force Awakens, I'm putting at number 2. And this is after sleeping on it. This is after kind of, this is actually kind of like really thinking about it after all these years, since 2015. A Force Awakens definitely is a rehash of A New Hope. It definitely follows the same kind of beats. It definitely same kind of villains. Villains kind of relate to each other. Same kind of rogue person on a sand planet, and I want to reach the stars. I want to join the rebellion. It is kind of a rehash of A New Hope, and I'm starting to realize that now, and that's why I'm going to put it at number 2. But it's still fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
It still is a great movie. But I'm putting it at number 2. I'm sorry, I'm putting Last Jedi at number 1. Reason being, and I hated Last Jedi. I hated that movie when it came out.
I don't mind Last Jedi.
But here's the thing. You know why I put it at number 1?
Why?
I only put it at number 1 after seeing Knives Out. Because we see Rian Johnson in his natural elements, and then I compare that to how he told a story in Last Jedi.
Yeah, but he didn't follow the story. He just did whatever he wanted.
But that's why I'm putting it at number 1. That's why. No,
it doesn't go with the rest of the series. That's stupid. You're stupid.
Stay married, but but here's the thing. This is why I'm putting it number 1, because it had the guts to actually be a new Star Wars.
That's casino. Not the point of it, though. It was in the middle of a series.
No.
Just do whatever you want.
But that's the thing. It did directly follow A Force Awakens. It didn't follow it the way you wanted it to, in the way of Rey's parents, in the way of Snoke. But it did directly follow A Force Awakens. It didn't conclude in the way you wanted to. Now, here's the other part. Stay with me now. Last Jedi, in the terms of Rian Johnson's directorial kind of like status, he likes the whole turnaround. He likes making people human. He wanted Luke Skywalker to be a human with wounds, continuing to like heal from that. He's not this superhero.
I was fine with that.
But that's the thing. Last Jedi had the guts to be its own Star Wars movie instead of a rehash of old trilogies.
He turned Leia into Mary Poppins. I don't forgive that.
I'm not saying the movie is perfect. I'm not saying he only gave me.
I enjoyed it.
Well, Greatest Story only gave me these. Now, if we're watching all of the Star Wars movies, it's going in like the average pile.
Yeah, but like, oh.
But in terms of what I've been given,
I wouldn't say it's my top in the trilogy.
Well, I know Force Awakens is. Don't tell me Rise of Skywalker is your favorite. Do not tell me. Don't.
No, I think it would be second. But I would say Last Jedi is like third to me in the trilogy.
But that's the thing, though. No
one asked me, so whatever.
But that's the thing. After really having it to sink into really thinking about it, Last Jedi had the guts to be a new story. Rian Johnson only worked with what he was strong in. It didn't conclude the way you wanted it to, but at least it had the guts to conclude the way it did, with Luke throwing this lightsaber and Kylo Ren becoming the new supreme leader. The salt planet, that was fantastic.
I enjoyed it.
Oh, the one shot where she kamikazed and the silent.
Well, yes, I'm saying
it was so good.
It was a good movie, and
yeah.
I like the structure and the basic stuff of it.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to like the little nitpicky things, I'm like, ugh.
I'm still in the camp of like, after really thinking about it, I've really chewing on it. Last Jedi is number 1 above Force Awakens.
I like the pork, so
you do like the pork.
Where's my pork picture?
Oh, good question. But by the way, Casino Planet was a train wreck. I'm not defending that. The casino scene can go all the way down with Solo. If I'm going to rank it, Casino is on the Solo level on my rankings. But
okay, let's move on to a different question.
Moving on. So this is coming back to me, and this is a quick answer from me. I promise you. At Commander Nikki says, at Ace the Grocer, what are your best recipes, favorite to cook? This is a quick answer from me because it's really anything. I love to cook anything, and that's why I love HelloFresh so much. By the way, today's episode was sponsored by... No, they don't love us yet. But that's why I like HelloFresh so much, is because Liz chooses the recipes, and the ingredients come right to me, and it just says, cook this. And I just go all in on it, and I get so focused on it that I don't really care what I'm cooking. I just want to cook it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, another quick answer. I'm starting to learn more Asian cuisines because I love Thai food. I love Asian food. I love Indian food. I love Chinese food, of course. But I'm starting to learn to do that on my own. And I'm really starting to experiment with different flavors. This is the first time I'm actually using 5-spice Chinese, Chinese 5-spice. So I'm really excited about that. But quick answer, really anything. I really have a favorite.
You just love to cook.
I just love cooking.
And I get anxious cooking. Cooking gives me anxiety.
At Journey First, what's your favorite tool? Or favorite thing ever you crafted?
Oh, I didn't even think about that one.
Oh.
So I don't have favorites, but I do have
besides
a couple.
me, I'm your favorite tool.
So I really like planers because I like to be able to make a surface soft. I do not currently own a planer.
Yeah.
But I would like one. So planers, especially if you have like those like big like electric like machine planers where you can just send it through and it's like all soft. Oh, I want one so bad.
Yeah.
Like that is like the first thing I'm buying if I ever get a professional like wood shop. Anyway. So planers. Jigsaw, because you can do almost anything with them. I mean, you're supposed to use it to like cut out specific things, but I would use it for almost everything because I'm lazy.
Yeah.
And a miter saw because a miter saw. But then so another thing that I would get if I had like a big like fancy like wood shop is, so we had this one at school. It's this giant saw, so it's like tall, it like stands up and you
a bandsaw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like that, and you can cut horizontal or vertical, and it's just it's amazing. It's like the best saw ever. It can do anything, except angles.
Yeah.
But it's amazing, and that's probably one of my favorites. When I saw it, I was like, oh, this is amazing. So that favorite thing I've crafted. I've crafted a lot. Like I've made a lot of furniture.
I think the entertainment center that you built was probably your favorite.
That's my favorite. It's the very first thing I built, which got me into all the woodworking and building. Which
is this thing?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
But I don't want it to be my favorite because I didn't do it by myself.
Yeah.
Like I didn't build that by myself. Like I built that like with my friend who's very skilled and knowledgeable, and he did most of the work. So,
yeah.
But I did help build it and I did design it sort of. So, but that's not like I don't want it to be my favorite because I didn't do that by myself. What else did I build? I built our other entertainment center, but I really didn't like that. It was not well done. I mean, I'm proud of it because I made it out of scrap wood.
What about the thing you made for my mom? The mug holder.
Yes, that was really good. So I made Adam's mom this big mug holder that she wanted for her new apartment when she moved into it back in 2017.
And it's just like this big.
And it's this big. She's like, I really want something like this for my apartment. And it said, all I need is a little bit of coffee and a whole lot of Jesus. And so it's so heavy that it fell off her wall. We had to properly fasten it. So it was big and it's heavy, but it has like probably, how many hooks do you think is on that thing?
Like 6.
Yeah, maybe? I think there's 6 hooks like going on it, but it fits perfectly in her little nook and it's just like perfect. And so that's probably one of my favorites. I was really proud of that. And every time I go over her house, I'm like, I made that.
Yeah, I really like that. By the way, she uses all the power tools. I do not.
All the tools are mine. I've gotten tools for every birthday since we got married, whether it's from him or something he told my parents to get for me.
So now we have some rapid fire questions that I forgot to say anybody for. By the way, thanks for really listening to this.
Yeah.
It's definitely different from our usual podcast with like very high production, very high.
This is almost like a planned what's the best.
Yeah. If you're actually enjoying us just talking about anything, really check out What's the Biz. Yeah. This is pretty much the premise of What's the Biz.
Except for no questions and we just talk.
We just talk and
see what happens.
Yeah. It's really just record anything. It's on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Radio Public, not on iTunes yet for some reason. I'm still trying to figure that out. I don't know why. So then we have a question from, I believe, Greatest Show on Dirt. What's the first concert each of you ever went to? Mine was, so the opener was Hailstorm before Hailstorm actually was really anything. They were still like an opening band, but really successful, and they were phenomenal. Hailstorm was really good. Then I forget. Oh, 10 years. So it was Hailstorm, then it was 10 years, and then the headliner was Shinedown. That was really good. But that was my first concert.
I'm ashamed of my first concert.
No,
I was
why
a
is that?
different person back then.
Yeah.
Well, my very first concert was a Nickelodeon concert.
Yeah.
And that was like a bunch of different people. I don't remember who was there. I think I was like 6 or 7.
Mm-hmm.
That was my first concert. And then the second one was a Radio Disney concert. And that had like Jump 5.
Yeah.
That's how long ago it was. Jump 5. I think there was like NSYNC and maybe not NSYNC. But like it was a bunch of different bands. But my first like main regular person concert was Taylor Swift. It was the Fearless concert.
Fearless.
So I was a sophomore in high school.
Yeah, I think so.
I think I was sophomore in high school. Whenever Fearless came out. Whatever year that was, do the math. I'm turned 27 this year. Do the math. So that was my first like real concert, which I'm still ashamed of because I don't mind Taylor Swift now. It's just not the same Taylor Swift from. No, it wasn't the Fearless concert. It was the purple one.
Yeah.
Enchanted.
I don't know.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
But it was
Fearless was red.
No, Fearless was brown. It was her second album.
And whatever. What was the red one?
Red.
Really?
Yes.
Wow, really creative.
Yeah, it was red.
Wow.
But anyway, red was like when we were married.
I don't know. I don't follow Taylor Swift. I hate her.
But yeah, so I don't really like that those are my first concerts. I think the next concert I went to after Taylor Swift was Panic. I'm pretty sure.
At the pier?
Perfectly fine. No, that wasn't. No, Panic wasn't the first one. After that, Fall Out Boy and Paramore.
Yeah,
I saw in college.
My goodness.
So, I was a different person at my first concerts. Okay.
So another rapid fire question. This is coming from Commander Nikki. Why is Thimbleweed Park so good? And I'll tell you why really quickly. I think it takes I believe it is the same creators from Monkey Island. And a point and click kind of mystery solving with a lot of comedy. And it brings that to the modern age, but still brings in the classic modes of Monkey Island. But still the same kind of humor, the same kind of charm to it. But it's definitely one of those old school PC point and click, bring into your inventory without the modernization crap that you see like, oh, it's like the days of old, but in modern times. No, it just brings it in, puts a little bit of more saturation onto it, and you can play it on modern consoles, and it still has the same kind of charm to it. And there's 2 different levels of difficulty. There's the easy mode where if you're just new to the whole point and click adventure kind of games, it cuts a lot of scenes out, but you get to be introduced to it. And then you got the hardcore mode, which is, for veterans of that. And it's very meta. It's very, it's so hilarious. And I think it's a good challenge. But the main reason is that it doesn't try to modernize it. It just tries to bring it into a new light. Quick fire of why Thimbleweed Park is so good. I might make a video on it someday. The next video essay, why is Assassin's Creed so good? Maybe I'll do Thimbleweed Park sometime. I don't know. But
that was quicker than I thought it would be.
I love Thimbleweed Park so much. Apparently I lost my copy of it, so I might have to repurchase it. I don't know. Oh, no. So next questions are, rapid fire here. How was your first date?
No, it says, what was your first date like? Which, wow, it was an event.
Yeah. I was 18. You were 15?
I was 15. I hadn't turned 16 yet.
Yeah.
I was turning 16 that summer. First of all, it was with your friend, Scott.
Yeah.
And we went to Franklin Mills Mall. We were supposed to see a movie, but then there wasn't anything we liked out because Adam was not a planner when we first started dating.
No.
So we just went to the mall. We're like, we're going to see a movie. What movie? I don't know. Yes, and when I was in high school, I walked around with my arms crossed all the time.
All the time. You were
time.
like a floating genie wherever you went. Oh, may I grant your wish?
And so Adam's friend pointed that out. He's like, why are your arms always crossed? Aren't you supposed to be together? Like, hold his hand. Yeah. And they forced me to hold Adam's hand through the mall. So I held So I held Adam's hand through the mall.
That was your first date ever.
That was my first date ever. Adam was my first and only boyfriend.
You were my only girlfriend.
Lies. So this was my first date experience, guys. This is my first and only first date ever. So we walked around the mall, and then we went to Walmart, which was in the same shopping center. And
there was a woman's car on fire.
Okay, I hadn't gotten there yet.
Oh, sorry.
So we walked around Walmart, and then when we came out, we were just sitting on a bench, and this woman comes running up to us. She didn't run, but she was like, oh my gosh. She's like, did you see there was a car on fire over there? And she like went on, and there was like other things, like someone got shot. None of this actually happened. You would know if there was a car on fire in Philadelphia.
I was about to say, this is in Philadelphia.
This woman was on crack. Like, I was 15. I was a sheltered 15-year-old, and I knew this woman was on crack.
Yeah.
So she's like running. She was like talking. She was like, we sat there for 20 minutes with this lady talking to us about this car fire.
Yeah.
And then she left. And then we sat on a curb in front of Taco Bell. And then Scott's dad picked him up. And then me and you sat there for like 20 minutes waiting for your mom. And then we went home. And that was our first date.
Yeah. That was our first date. Now, rapid fire, going to wedding day. What was your wedding day like? I barely remember.
It was hot.
It was very hot. It was the middle of July. And there was no air conditioning in your church.
Yeah. So I grew up in a very old school Methodist cathedral type church. And there's no air conditioning.
July 16th.
And yeah, it was July in Philadelphia. Beautiful church, beautiful pictures. Hot. And I bought my dress when we were originally getting married in December.
Yeah.
And so my ball gown was very hot under there.
Yeah, we had to move the wedding date because I could not find jobs outside of college right away.
Yeah.
And I was just having a lot of difficulty just finding a stable job. And so we moved it from December of 2015 to July of 2016.
And all my bridesmaids had already bought their red dresses for the Christmas wedding, so we had a Christmas in July wedding.
Yeah.
And then the DJ did not play any Christmas music. He played like 2 Christmas songs, and then he played like so there are some things about our wedding day that kind of bug me.
Yeah.
And it's stupid, but it does. So the rule that I had made for our Christmas themed wedding, I was like, all right, play Christmas music all through dinner. Like we're eating, like just play Christmas music. And then after, play all the regular music. He played 30 Christmas songs, cut Dominic the Donkey off halfway through, which really bothered me because that's one of my favorite Christmas songs. And then he played like 5 Coheed songs.
Yeah.
And 1 Panic song.
One. Yeah.
And I wrote on the directions like, these are our favorite bands. Please play songs from them. Played 1 Panic song and 5 Coheed songs.
Yeah.
I did not like our DJ. And my dad even said like, yeah, he wasn't great.
No, he wasn't.
Food was our cake was disgusting. And our photographer kept saying, because for the picture to like feed each other the cake, he was like, oh, can you do it again? We're like, no.
The cake was bad.
Please stop. It was burnt. It was dry. The cupcakes people said were gross too. It was a fun day, but it was also
fun.
It was very fun. We had a very fun day, and the whole drive home, because the wedding was in Philly, but we lived in Lancaster at the time. We were waking up at 4 a.m. the day after our wedding to go on a retreat,
a mission trip
for the church. Don't do that. That was a bad life choice.
Yeah.
And then we went on our honeymoon a week after. But the whole drive home, I was driving because Adam had to drive like 16 hours to like North Carolina the next day. So I drove home, not in my dress. I had a change of clothes. That would be ridiculous. Camera's about to turn off again.
Yeah. Well, let's just move on to the next question while you do that.
Yeah.
Can you get the camera for me? I don't want to crawl under the obstacle course that is our light system. I'm going to skip a couple questions here because, we're coming up on the 54-minute mark. But I want to answer this question from Nikki. Would you do another game special episode as you did with Life is Strange games and episodes? I'm glad you're still listening to this, by the way, 54 minutes in, because I do want to talk about this because she does bring up a good question. We used to do, the meaning behind Sea of Solitude. We did the Life is Strange episodes. And the reason why we did those is because we both mutually were interested in those games.
Yeah.
We both wanted to check out Sea of Solitude. We both wanted to check out Life is Strange. And the reason why we haven't done another game special episode of Games Groceries isn't because we haven't been interested in games. It's because here's the answer. I forgot. I've been looking at so many topics and like backlogging, like, okay, we can talk about this and we can book this guest for here. I book guests like months in advance sometimes. And I'm just like thinking about what guests can we put on here? What can we do here? Simple answer. Those would be good episodes to do. And I forgot.
We'll do them eventually.
Yeah, because the way we would do those is if we're both mutually. Like I'm interested in it'd be cool as Assassin's Creed ones.
When I'm done.
Yeah, but they take a while.
I was gonna say that means we're gonna have that episode in like a year and a half.
But that's the thing, Assassin's Creed is coming up. It has to be relevance. So it has to be relevant. It has to be a game that's come out recently that people can experience, I would think. Comment down below, am I wrong there? It has to be a game we both mutually are interested in, and it has to be a game that's worth talking about. So it can't be a game like I don't know, like even like in the 360 era, like I really don't know, but like an older game, and it can't be one that only I'm interested in, or what Liz is only. We can't talk about a Sims episode because you're interested and I'm not.
No.
And it has to be, or even with Sims, it has to be like a narrative that we both want to talk about.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, one, I forgot, and two, I think we're gonna think more into that. We're gonna look. I think we're gonna intentionally look at games that have come out fairly recently,
or coming out soon,
and we're going to really think about that. Yeah, let's do that because those were good episodes.
They were.
And since it's a video game podcast, might as well. But yeah, I completely forgot until she asked that. So I was like, oh man, why haven't we? So thank you Nikki. Thank you. Favorite tree?
Willow.
I was gonna say willow. Rapid fire. Willow trees are freaking awesome.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
Yeah, I actually didn't know that about you.
Yeah, I just think they're so pretty, and like I just imagine like having a picnic under one because it's like a canopy. It's just so pretty.
Yeah, I love willow trees.
I love them.
Favorite place you visited on vacation? So the only vacation we've taken together is our honeymoon.
We have not been able to go anywhere else.
Yeah, we've been too busy and broke.
That too.
But individually, probably my favorite place I've been on vacation. I'm not going to say it. Ireland.
Whatever.
Also Israel. I love Israel, but
it wasn't a vacation.
Oh yeah, that was a school trip. So within the United States, Alaska, straight up Alaska. That was my favorite. I don't know. Alaska was probably my favorite.
You have one outside the country and inside the country. Huh? So fancy.
Arkansas was interesting too. Missouri was fine. But Alaska is probably my favorite in the United States.
I have not been to many places. I grew up going to Ocean City, New Jersey every year. Yeah. Until like high school, we stopped going. And then I went to Wildwood. I'm like a typical Philly girl. I've been to Wildwood. And I've been to Ocean City. I've never been to Atlantic City.
But we live in our favorite vacation spot, really.
I mean, yeah, we live where we love to be. But I do love the beach. I visited my sister once in Tennessee. I've been to New York, but I went to like Manhattan once.
Yeah.
I would probably just say Ocean City, New Jersey. It has that very nostalgic feeling for me, and I do get sad going there sometimes because they've like modernized a little too much and they got rid of the stuff I liked growing up. But I would say Ocean City, New Jersey. Like I want to take my kids there. Like I love Ocean City, New Jersey. I've been to Ocean City, Maryland too, but I still prefer New Jersey. Oh, by the way, we honeymooned in Seaside Heights. Don't go there. Don't go there. Why don't go there, Liz? Did we find that out before we went there? Okay, so I'm the one that we need to talk about this. Okay. I'm the one that chose our honeymoon. Yeah. We could not pick a place for our honeymoon, and by the time we got there, it was like March, and everyone had already booked their summer vacations. But I was like, oh, Seaside Heights. They had like this little like these benches that go like up and down the boardwalk. Like it was just beautiful, and it looked nice, and our hotel didn't look too bad, and it was affordable. But then we got there and we went in a shop, and they're like, oh, are you here for the tour? We said, what tour? They're like, the tour of the Jersey Shore house. We were in the place where the Jersey Shore was filmed, and if you don't know what the Jersey Shore is, just look it up. And the people that were in the Jersey Shore, those are the people that go to Seaside Heights. And if you know me and Adam, we are not like that. It was interesting. And then on top of that, because this is part of it, Adam, not a frequent beach vacationer, did not realize that you should buy regular food to keep in your hotel room and things like that to eat. We went to No, I'm finishing this. So we went to Acme and we got breakfast food. Oops. And I said to Adam, like, oh, should we get like some bread and some lunch meat or something to eat, for lunch and stuff? He's like, no. We'll just eat all the meals on the boardwalk. I said, okay. And then by like the third day, he's like, I feel so disgusting. Like, I can't wait to go home and have normal food. I'm like, I told you to get normal food.
We ate tilapia and rice and lemon water for like 2 weeks straight.
We put lemons directly in our water pitcher because we felt gross.
I needed to, and I will
always blame Adam for that. For not, that was like Adam's very first lesson in always listen to your wife.
Yeah,
like that was his first experience in learning. Just listen to your wife.
My goodness.
So that was our honeymoon in Seaside Heights.
So probably our last question, maybe one more after it. What is the cryptid that you think is most believable to exist? A cryptid, by the way, is like a mythical creature that is almost like a conspiracy theory. I have my answer. What do you think?
I don't really know much about these things. Like, the only ones I know off the top of my head is Bigfoot and the Loch Ness Monster.
Okay.
So I'm going to go with, I don't know, I go with both of them a little bit.
No. Which one is most believable? Like, not.
I don't even know much about the Loch Ness Monster.
Yeah.
So I have to go with Bigfoot.
See, I say Loch Ness Monster is.
See, that's why like I teeter on that, but I don't really know anything about like the story about that.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't.
Yeah, I'm gonna Google that real quick. Now, why do you think?
I thought this was supposed to be quick.
Well, like I think. Now I don't know. I'm gonna look up other cryptids though, because I can't think of any off the top of my head. But I always thought
the Jersey Devil. It's the only other one I can think of.
I don't think he exists.
Me neither. I'm just saying it's the only other one I know.
Yeah, but probably Loch Ness Monster is probably my.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's Jersey Devil, Thunderbird. Mothman.
Oh God, that sounds horrible.
Yeah, no, Mothman probably exists. Mole people probably exist too. I would say so myself. Mole people. What is Mokele Mimbimbi? Oh, it's a dinosaur.
No, seriously, it's a dinosaur.
And caca. That's it. But
dinosaur.
I would believe him. But
I think you'd know if he existed.
Yeah. But yeah, so the Chupacabra. Chupacabra's one. Oh, you know what?
Yeah, see, like I don't know any of like the backstories of these things, so like I can't say if I believe him or not. Like I don't even know much about Bigfoot or Loch Ness Monster.
I mean, I think it's safe to say both of us believe in ghosts, though.
Oh yeah,
straight up believe in ghosts. Like if you're like, oh, I don't believe in ghosts, okay,
you're wrong.
Yeah, go into a really old house
and tell
in the
me
dark.
You're not creeped out.
Yeah, so get out of here with your nonsense. Ghosts exist, like and I don't mess with them.
Like we live in Lancaster County, which has a lot of old houses. When I'm looking at houses, I literally will go, nope, not this one. It looks way too old.
Yeah, it's just like it's so creepy.
I like old fashioned houses, like with old stuff in it. But if it looks too old, I'm like, I'm good. Thank you. Bye bye.
Mm-hmm. It's like, no, absolutely
like we don't
not.
go in our attic at night. We will only go in our attic during the day.
I would think that Chupacabra exists too.
I don't know what that is, and don't tell me.
Yeah, okay. I would have to go either Nessie or Chupacabra in my mind. I think is most believable.
I know nothing about Chupacabra.
Yeah. That or Mike Trout. Does Mike Trout actually exist?
Okay.
Yeah. I think you think we can do one more?
Sure.
Let's just finally close out with who proposed and how to go. And I proposed, and that was an interesting story because at that point we had been dating for 5 or 6 years. 5? 4 or 5?
5.
5 years.
We were about to go on 5 years.
Yeah.
I was a sophomore in college.
So we had been dating for 5 years, and by 5 years you kind of figure out that like you're gonna propose.
It wasn't even we figured out that we were gonna propose. We had been talking about it since like 3 months into our relationship.
Mm-hmm. And so it was
kind of the plan.
So me being the proposer, I had to think about, okay, I can't be thinking about romance right now. I need to be thinking about the element of surprise because she is expecting it to come. So I need to make it both romantic and so
like I
secretive.
need to be so caught off guard.
Yeah.
Because I knew, and that was the thing, like we knew we would be getting engaged like around, like I knew it was coming
Mm-hmm.
because we were both, it was a very big thing to get engaged at our school.
Yeah.
So like I kind of knew it had to be like while he was still at school, and this was his last semester.
Mm-hmm.
And I just kind of could tell like he was talking to my grandmother a
Yeah.
little too much.
And I got the engagement ring from her. So
Yeah.
but yeah, so I got the engagement ring. And I was just thinking, like, how do I do this? What do we both love? That's both romantic. That's something we mutually are loving, and that's a total surprise. And I knew pretty much one of the heads up of a local hockey team at the time. I'll say it, the Reading Royals. And he's no longer there anymore. He's now with, I believe he's still with the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah,
now.
they're still in Jacksonville.
That's crazy. But yeah, so I knew the guy who was the heads up of that building for the Reading Royals. And I was like, dude, can I get married? Or can I get married? Can I get engaged at a Reading Royals game? Like, yeah, man, how do you want to set it up? And so we had this plan to get us both in. And I set it up so that it's me, Liz, and two of my guy friends. Now, there was a purpose behind them. My one friend was going to take pictures, and the other friend was going to take video of it. So I had two guys with me to document what was going to happen.
Yeah.
And so we went to the hockey game, and Liz had no idea. I was freaking out. I even put barbecue sauce on my pants to like make her think that like, okay, I'm a mess. Well, like I'm not going to get engaged today, so I'm a messy boy. And so she had no idea because we're just at a hockey game with the guys.
I remember I was getting ready to go to the hockey game, and I said to my roommate, I said, like, I'm not even gonna try and dress up, because at the time I was like, I've got, like, I tried to like look nice at certain times, like, because he might propose. I was like, I'm not even gonna like look nice tonight. I'm like, we're going to a hockey game with his two best friends, like he's not gonna propose tonight. Like I literally said that.
Yeah, and that's exactly how to do it, because I was just like, I need to catch her off guard. And so here was the plan. It was in those in between periods, and you have those like announcers, right?
For those games and stuff.
Yeah, for the games, like, who has the most pennies in their pockets? So one guy comes down, and he knows who I am, and the mascot has her antique ring. Because I didn't keep it because I was wearing skinny jeans, and if I had a ring in my pocket, there would be like, there would be obvious as the ring in my pocket. So I gave it to the mascot.
I'm a nosy person, and I would have just stuck my hand in his pocket and pulled it out.
So the mascot had it, and the mascot is behind him. Oh, really quick, before
Fry Guy.
No, not Fry Guy.
Fry Guy.
Before the whole proposal.
Oh yeah.
Before it all, the mascot came down. She's like, oh my God, Adam, here's my phone. Take a picture. And so she goes up to the mascot, gives the mascot a little hug. I take a little picture. She gets her phone and she looks at it. She's like, this is the best day of my life. And I just sat there.
The mascot never comes near me.
And I just sat there. I was like, ooh, just you wait. Oh, just wait a little bit longer.
The mascot never comes near me. I was very excited.
You literally said, this is the best day of my life. Like, oh, just wait. And so then the guy plays a little game with me, and it's like, oh, who has the best pants in the audience? And he looks at mine, and he quickly looks like, oh, you have the best pants. Oh, congratulations. Here's a gift card. But also, I think I should pass the microphone to you. And Liz's face was like, what the heck?
I was like, at first I was like, what the heck is going on?
And so I was like, Liz, could I see you for a moment? And all the women in the
gosh, it like erupted, like, ah!
And these are hockey fan women, so it's not like, oh, it's like and so everybody in there knew what was about to go down.
Yeah.
And so I was like, Liz, I really love these 5 years. You make me grow as a person, and I want to continue that for the rest of my life. And I got down on one knee, like,
oh my gosh, it was like insane.
Will you marry me? And like, and then our song started to play, which is Inevitable by Amber Lynn. And, the little screen on there. And, of course she said yes. But it wasn't until after, and we saw the video, But apparently there was a guy who was
like direct. It was like, all right, so Adam's there and I'm here, and here's the guy with fries.
He was going to go get French fries and go back to his seat. We were blocking his way. So he was just there eating French fries and going like
fries while he was traversing.
And so he's just like, whoa.
And then when we took a picture, he was like,
and he just gave thumbs up, and he's just eating the fries like, he was the coolest
he was like
dude.
part of it. We wanted to find him, invite him to the wedding, but
Yeah, French fry guy.
like and that's his name to us. Like he's French fry guy, and he's in all of our engagement pictures.
Oh my goodness, he's so cool. Like I was just like that's the best. But like you just have this dude, just standing behind, and it's just like, oh, French fry guy.
Yeah.
But I think that's a good way to close out this video game podcast. But yeah, that's Ask Us Anything. We're so glad you stuck along. I'm really hoping you enjoyed this episode. This is just the way we wanted to celebrate 100 episodes. Just
getting to know us better.
Mm-hmm. And here's hoping for 500 more episodes.
Woohoo.
There goes a motorcycle. I heard it in my headphones, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, so we're not even done with the podcast. We want to go on to 1,000 episodes. 100, more like 2,000 episodes. But here's hoping for that. We want to thank you again for typing out all your questions. I hope we got all of them. We might have skipped a couple, but we wanted to get all the people who had asked. And if you still want to talk to us, definitely reach out to us. We want to talk with you.
We can still answer you on Twitter.
Yeah, totally. And yeah, so to end out this episode, instead of us saying like, oh, have a good week, we want to give one last blast to the past and see how we close out the show back in episode 1. So again, we hope you enjoyed this one. And let's past Adam take it away. So that concludes our very first podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. Keep in mind, though, that if you made it this far, I'm sorry for the sound quality. It might be a little canny. It might be a little unprofessional, but we're working on it. We're working on it. We're on entry level just to see where this podcast goes. We would love your feedback. We would love you to share this podcast with your friends, with your family members, your puppies. By the way, follow us on Twitter at Gaming Groceries. I couldn't make Games and Groceries podcast as a Twitter handle. It was too long. So it's follow us on Twitter at Gaming Groceries on Twitter. Send us a picture of your dog.
Yeah.
Send us all your pictures
and we'll share a picture of our dog. We have so many.
We have so many pictures.
Every picture in our phone since the day we got him has only been of the dog.
But from now on, and this is where I'll end it with, as the weeks go on, our equipment will get better. Our sound quality will get better, and our topics are going to get better.
And our timing's going to be better.
Our timing's going to
will not be this ridiculously long.
No, they'll be under an hour, 45 minutes to an hour.
Yeah.
But we're going to talk about topics of what it means to be an adult in gaming, married in gaming, why are people so negative about gaming. We're really excited for the weeks to come.
Yeah, and gaming news, anything that touches the life of gaming for a married couple.
Yeah. So we hope you enjoyed this first episode of the Games and Groceries podcast. We will see you next week right here. Please give us a follow on Twitter at Gaming Groceries. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week. Signing out.